Hello and welcome to Glover Reviews, where I give you my thoughts on a new release followed by some gameplay with commentary. Today we're going to be looking at online fantasy class-based PvP shooter, Forge. It's quite a mouthful. Forge is an attempt to take the best of both shooters and MMO PvP and create a fun and competitive multiplayer experience. So first let's take a look at the basics. Forge has 5 classes. There's the Assassin, Pathfinder, Pyromancer, Shaman, and Warden. The Assassin and Warden are your melee classes, and they play roughly as you'd expect based on their names, the archetypes. The Warden being the buff warrior type and the Assassin being the stealthy backstabber. The Warden mostly feels slow and clunky and is all but helpless when not accompanied by a healer. The Assassin, on the other hand, seems able to hold her own in one-on-one combat against most other classes. The Pathfinder and Pyromancer are your ranged classes. The Pathfinder is your typical archer class, bow and arrows and all, while the Pyromancer wields various forms of offensive and passive flame abilities. Both are a lot of fun to play and were the bulk of where I spent my time online. Lastly, we have the Shaman, the healer class. His spells are effective when put to good use, but without some practice a new Shaman player can be next to useless, especially if they're the type who likes to shoot at enemies a lot. Now, Forge has a leveling system. The stats and skills gained from leveling up your individual classes are definitely nothing to write home about, as each level comes relatively slowly, is assigned on a per-class basis, and grants only a few points to a given stat. You're also able to increase speed and or energy at the expense of armor, but it seems to have very little effect, and the pros and cons to doing so are not made apparent within the menu at all. I personally felt that this style of leveling system would have been better left out of the type of game that seems to want to focus on skill over stats. Perhaps the leveling system should have been kept to aesthetics. I think it would have been cool to have just cool new armors for the high level of players, to give them some sort of aesthetic niceness to them as you level up. Overall, the various classes are fun to play, and the action can get pretty intense when two large groups meet in a crowded hallway. There's a distinct focus on skill, as timing and aiming your skills are both key to victory. While there is a class for every type of player available, it's hard not to gravitate towards the same one or two classes regardless of preference, due to what early on felt like a slight lack of balance. When playing MMOs, I usually play a healing class, such as the Priest in World of Warcraft. But the Shaman, while he definitely fills the role of healer, did not feel like a very effective support class. The most fun I had was while playing the Pathfinder. The game's shooter elements are well built, and the Pathfinder feels the most suited to this style of gameplay. That being said, let's dive right in and take a look at some gameplay. So, as you can see, I'm playing a Pathfinder. Like I said, he's my favorite class, I think. It's a very enjoyable game playing as a ranged class. I found it to be... Geez, now I'm stuck. I found it to be the most enjoyable. It's all about placing your skills well, and I think it just plays the best using the Pathfinder. The Pathfinder or the Pyromancer, which is actually what this person is here. So you've got a number of skills. As you can see, I've got poison arrows and such, which I'm trying to use on this guy here. I'm going to leave some caltrops. Hopefully that'll help me out if he tries to come up here. I do have poison on him already. They do stack. My caltrops make him fall, and now he's dead. There we go. Fantastic. I did lose a lot of health there. Hopefully there's a shaman around here somewhere. I did just jump into the game. But yeah, like I'm saying, it's a very enjoyable game as a ranged class. You've got a block, you can right click and that's block. All of your keys, of course, are customizable, and I find that the skills are very, very well varied with your ranged classes. I've got two, unfortunately, ranged classes right here ready to take me down. They're going to do a good job here. I'm going to drop some caltrops and try and get out, but I didn't make it. He landed on my caltrops. As you can see, that's one of the CC effects you can use, your crowd controls. what he did just there was you can, well, some classes have movability spells. They're quite enjoyable. So it looks like we're playing Capture the Flag. At least, as far as I can tell. The game does make it kinda hard. I just jumped into Quick Play, and knowing exactly which mode you're in can be difficult. Let's see if it tells me here. No, it does not. Not that I can tell. So, playing competitively, you definitely want to jump into an actual game that you've looked for. You want to know your goal. But it is really fun to just hop on in and have a bit of a fun time. So we've got a warden here. As you can see, he's very defensive. He's got lots of mobility. He is a very slow character. Like I said, I felt that he felt clunky, but you can definitely do well with him if you know what you're doing. I guess I just perhaps don't. Now I did want to get the heck out of there. I don't want to be facing one-on-one with a warden as a ranged class when he's right up in my face. It's not good. You're not going to have a fun time. So I'm going to get right up in there and drop a caltrop. Hopefully that'll CC somebody. We've got a pyromancer here. I'm just going to get in my team's shield. And we're going to take out the pyromancer. That was good. Great teamwork. They've got 2 pyromancers here, so they don't have a lot of movability, I suppose, in that they're not really doing a lot of different things. Now, as a Pathfinder, I do find that I get the most kills of the classes that I use. Not necessarily in the game, but I find I do best as a ranged class. I'm not sure what this guy is doing. Alright, yeah, he's just trying to get out of here. It looks like we've got another pyromancer. It's a very, very popular class. I'm going to try and poison him. I did hit him with a poison arrow. Just watch my back here. Yep, we've got a warden coming in. Now, this game could definitely be a lot of fun if you've got a friend. Right now, at the time of recording this, there is actually, being that it just released, they've got a promo where if you buy one, you actually get a free second copy. That poor orange guy over there, he's getting killed good. I do find that the placement of the keys to start are a little odd. I have customized it. I've got various moves, different skills on my mouse. In this kind of third person shooting kind of game, you do want to be careful though with the mouse keys. It's not an MMO. It's much faster. It's definitely more action oriented. So you don't want to be focusing too much on mouse abilities, because you'll lose dexterity in your mouse hand, and that's definitely not a good thing. I really do like that skill that the warden was just using there. If I am using a warden, the spin helps with mobility and it does damage. I really just like how I'm constantly doing something as a Pathfinder. There's very little downtime. There's always an opportunity to be doing something, and I find it very, very enjoyable. So I think that's a good little preview, some gameplay. And that's my take on Forge. It's definitely a fun game. It can be a complete blast, especially if you have a friend to play with. If you know someone out there who's into PvP games like this, definitely give it a buy. You and them will have a ton of fun. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps and I really, really appreciate it. Also, please leave me a comment. I would love to know what you thought of the video, of the game. If you've picked it up, let me know. I would love to hear from you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next Glover Reviews.